On today's episode of the Animation Advent Calendar, we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorites, Gumby. Gumby is probably one of the most enduring stop-motion animation characters ever made. The original show, created by Art Clokey, ran from 1955 to 1968, so for over 10 years. And there's been multiple revivals of the show since, primarily in the 80s and 90s, but there's also a new season in the works. So Gumby, our iconic green hero, can go in and out of storybooks visiting other characters, and he is always followed by his best friend, Pokey. There's a couple of really great Christmas episodes, but my favorite is one called Santa's Witch. The whole premise of the episode is that Santa Claus gets sick, and so he's unable to deliver the presents, so Pokey has to call the friendly neighborhood witch to help fly all the presents to kids around the world. I love that a friendly old witch comes and saves the day. But the most interesting part about Gumby is that it's based off of Art Clokey's first film called Gumbasia, which is actually an experimental short film. Clokey developed this film while he was a student at the University of Southern California, and he created it as an homage to Fantasia. But what's really interesting is that he showed this to a producer named Sam Engel, who saw this and went, "Do you know what this should be? We should develop this into a children's cartoon." And what a stroke of luck and genius, because I would never have looked at something this abstract and immediately been like, oh, that should be a children's show. Clokey was also very religious. He was a very spiritual person. And so he directed a show called David and Goliath, which promoted Christian values. And this would become the basis for the TV show Moral Oral. Part of the renewed interest in Gumby in the 1980s was actually because Eddie Murphy went on SNL and played Gumby in a sketch. That sketch became so popular that they decided to relaunch the show. So if it weren't for Eddie Murphy, Gumby might not have been the kind of enduring icon that he became. I grew up watching this show, so I have a deep nostalgia for it, but I think the characters are so simple and charming, and I love that they're very handmade and very tactile, and you can see the artist's touch in the clay, and it's not perfect, but the characters are still so charming that it's a great addition to your holiday playlist.